Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is the final lesson of Unit 1, the self-reflection. From the name itself, self-reflection, to reflect yourself, where you evaluate yourself, to give yourself feedback about the whole unit, as we will see on this lesson. But before we do that, let's open our workbooks, page 90. Please open your workbooks, page 90, and look at exercise M here. Circle the correct words to complete the sentences. Circle the correct words to complete the sentences. So the first one here, I was such amused that I cried with laughter. Of course, we say I was. Yes, I was, of course, so amused. I was so amused. The first one, so I says here, I was so amused. This is the cause. So the effect here, that I cried with laughter. If you remember the lesson, so and such, they are cause and effect. So that, such that, cause and effect. So the first one here, he was such a small child that people sometimes thought he was a baby. Again, he was such a small child that people sometimes thought he was a baby. So is it so or such? As a helping hint here, notice the letter A. Which one of these always takes or comes before the letter A? A small. So very good. We say he was such a small child. So this is the cause. What's the effect here of him being very small? That people sometimes thought he was a baby. This is the effect here. People thinking that he is a baby. Number two, it was so or such long ago that I can't remember. Do we say it was so long ago that I can't remember it? Or do we say it was such long ago that I can't remember it? So the answer here is so. It was so long ago that I can't remember it. Number three, she knew so few or so little people. So what comes with people, little or few? She knew so few or so little people that nobody noticed she was missing. She knew so few or so little people that nobody noticed she was missing. So the answer here is, of course, so few people. She knew so few people. This is the cause, her knowing so few people. The effect here, nobody noticed that she was missing. Very good. Number four, he looked so many like a well-known TV comedian that people would often ask for his autograph. Again, he looked so much or so many like a well-known TV comedian. So do we say he looked so much like a well-known or so many like a well-known TV comedian? I think this is an easy one here. Of course, it's so much. He looked so much like a well-known TV comedian. This is the cause. Then comes the effect, that what? That people would often ask for his autograph. That's how much they look alike. Number five here. It was so or such a funny show. Notice here, a funny show, the letter A. It was so or such a funny show that I watched 10 episodes one after the other. So this is the effect here. That the effect is that I watched 10 episodes one after another, one after one. So it was very good, such a funny show that I watched 10 episodes one after one. Number six, it was so or such a difficult test that many students didn't pass. So this is the effect here. What happened? Many students didn't pass Why is that? Because it was difficult test. But do we say so a difficult test or such a difficult test? Of course, we say such a difficult test because of the A here. I was so or such tired that I don't even remember getting into bed. So I think this is an easy one here. We say I was so tired or such tired. Very good. I was so tired. So tired. What happened? That I don't even remember getting into bed. Very good. Exercise N here. Finish the sentences about people you know. So finish the sentences about people you know. So the first one is already done. Is so funny that you say the TV show is so funny. This is the cause. And this here would be the effect that everyone in my class watches it. Very good. So number one is so smart that. Is so smart that. So you have to write the cause and the effect of something or someone being so smart. Just write anything you want as long as it is correct, of course. So smart that, and then continue your answer. Just write the cause and the effect here. So there's no right or wrong answers because you're trying to come up with causes and effects. For example, the first one, I said Ahmed is so smart that he has an answer to everything, to every question. As I said here, Ahmed, my friend Ahmed, is so smart that he has an answer to everything. Everything, every question you ask him, he has an answer for it. So this is the cause and the effect. Number two here is such a funny person that. A funny person. So it's someone you know. Someone you know is such a funny person that, then write the result, the effect of him being very funny. Okay, for example, here I have written Khalid is such a funny person that everyone laughs at his jokes. So Khalid being such a funny person, what's the effect here, the result? Everyone laughs at his jokes. Number three here was such an enjoyable experience that. Notice here was such an enjoyable experience. Try to remember something that you have experienced before and you really enjoyed it. So give the cause and give the effect. Something that was very enjoyable, such an enjoyable experience that, and write the effect that you see fit here. For example, I've written ziplining was such an enjoyable experience that I would recommend it. So ziplining was such an enjoyable experience that I would really recommend it. And it was such an enjoyable experience, ziplining from a tree to tree or from a mountain to the land and so on. So it's such an enjoyable experience that I would really recommend it. Number four, are so entertaining that. So entertaining, something that is very entertaining, that what? So give the result here. Yes, but I said here, going to the movies, the cinema, going to the movies, so entertaining, I want to go every weekend. So watching movies are so entertaining that I want to go every weekend. Number five was such a fun time that, remember having fun time. So what was such a fun time that? There's an effect here, there's a result. For example, traveling with friends was such a fun time that I want to do it again. Traveling with friends was really fun that I would really want to do it again. Again, traveling with friends was such a fun time that I want to do it again. So let's jump to our lesson today. The objective is to write your feedback and self-reflection. To write your feedback and self-reflection. Notice the self-reflection charts here. Things that I liked about Unit 1, things that I didn't like very much. And remember Unit 1's theme, being funny, jokes, laughs. Did you like the theme? Did you like the lessons of Unit 1? The conversation between friends when someone wanted to cheer his friend up, telling him really bad jokes, but proving his friendship to him, and so on. So write here whatever you liked about Unit 1, the grammar, the theme itself, the conversation, the listening material, and so on. So things that I liked about Unit 1, things that I didn't like very much about Unit 1, things that I found easy in Unit 1, some of the lessons that you found easy. Maybe it's the grammar, maybe it's the reading, maybe it's the form, meaning, and function, and so on. Things that I found difficult in Unit 1, this is the one that is really important. Right here, what did you find difficult in Unit 1 so that the teacher or maybe your colleagues can help you getting over it. Things that I found difficult in Unit 1. And also here is the checklist for Unit 1. Notice here the columns, things that I can do very well. I can do this very well. These are some of the lessons, of course, in Unit 1. If you can do them very well, just tick a mark here in this column. I can do this quite well. So it's not so much, but I can do it quite well. Tick a mark on this column. This is very important to give yourself feedback so you know where are your weaknesses and where are your strengths. I need to study or practice more. So these are, tick here the lessons that you think that you are really weak here and you need to study more and practice more. So talk about humor and tell jokes. So this is, as I said before, this is the theme. Do you know how to tell jokes, to understand jokes? Do you understand the whole theme of being funny and telling jokes? So if you do understand it quite well, just tick here on the first column. If you do this quite well, you understand telling jokes, tick here. If you don't understand it at all, tick here. Explain consequences with comparatives. Also, tick the correct mark for you, of course. Using past, present, past and present participle as adjectives. Using or use past and present participle as adjectives. Do you remember this lesson here? Past and present participle as adjectives here. The past participle and also the present participle form of a verb can also be used as adjectives. Past participles generally end in ed, but can also end in d, t, en, or n, and describe how someone feels. So the past participle describing a person, how someone feels. The mice were frightened. I was excited, and so on. But on the other hand, the present, it's always ending in ing and describe what causes the feeling. What causes the feeling? The cat was frightened. I was excited. The event was exciting, and so on. So if you understand this lesson, the past and present participle, just tick here. If you don't understand it that quite well, if you don't understand it at all, tick a mark here. Used get plus adjective and get plus past participle. Here, get plus the adjective and also get plus the participle. If you remember this lesson, get before an adjective or past participle suggests that something is changing, if you remember, or starting to happen. So things are changing. I'm getting tired, for example. I'm changing here. I'm becoming tired. Get can be followed by an adjective. The grasshopper and the snail got impatient. So their mood is changing. They're becoming impatient, waiting for the centipede. It's almost time for me to give my presentation. I'm getting nervous. So these here are using, also here we say get can also be followed by a past participle which functions as an adjective. So you should put on sunscreen. You're getting sunburned. My mother gets worried if I'm not home. So this is the lesson for get plus the adjective and get plus the past participle. If you find it easy, or you can do this quite well, or you need more practice. Also here, the comparatives, if you remember them, the longer the telephone call, the bigger the phone bill. And notice here that there has an effect on the second. So the second one is an effect. The longer the telephone call, the bigger the telephone bill. Why is the telephone bill big? Because the telephone call is long. The funnier the joke, the harder the audience laugh. The more I get to know my classmates, the better I like them. Also, there are famous sayings, the more, the merrier. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The bigger, the better. Why is it bigger? Why is it bigger? Because the effect here, why is it better? Sorry, because it is bigger. Also, expressing wishes, regret, and criticism. If you remember this lesson here from the four meaning function, we use wish for things that happened in the past that you now regret. For example, when you say, I wish I had seen the TV comedian, because you didn't see it last night, you say, I wish I had seen the TV comedian, so you regret not seeing him. Another example here, I couldn't get the joke. I wish I had been able to get the joke. Notice all of these are in the past. What about the present? When you say, I'm not a big fan of his jokes, I wish I found his jokes funny. I feel down today, so this is in the present. I wish I didn't feel down today. And in the future here, he won't lend me his car. So we say, I wish he would lend me his car. So we use the word would here because we're talking about a future event. We use such, that, so that, could, couldn't, must, may, or might. If you remember this lesson here, so that, such that, cause and effect, just as it says here. For example, the new TV sitcom is such a funny show. So this is the cause. What's the effect of the show being funny? That everyone in my class watches it. So this is the form, if you remember. Such, adjective, noun, that. What about so? So, adjective or adverb. Then we write that. The comedian was so amusing that he had everyone in stitches. We laughed so much. This is the cause. What's the effect? We had tears in our eyes. So, so that, such that, it's just cause and effect. What did we do because of this? Also, we're continuing can't, could, couldn't, must, may, or might. If you remember, here's a brief review. We use can't, must, may, or might to make suppositions, trying to speculate about something. We use must when we are sure of something. He must be at home. You must be joking. We use can't or couldn't to say when we think something is impossible. He can't be there. He was just with me. He can't be at his house. He was just with me. We use may or might or could to say something is possible. And notice here the difference between the present and the past. When we say the story about the green aliens can't be true, it might be a prank. We're not sure. It must be April 1st because, of course, of April Fools. So this is the present. When we turn into the past, what do we say? The story about the green aliens can't have been. Here we said can't be. Here we say can't have been true. It might have been a prank. It must have been April 1st. So this is the present, and this here is the past. And we can use, also here we use can't or couldn't to say when we think of something it's impossible, or and must when we are sure of something. Here are some examples. It can't be rain. There isn't a cloud in the sky. It must be the neighbor. She's watering the plants. Also, we use may or might, as we said before, as a speculation or a possibility. The last chart here lists some words that are new for you in this unit. My favorite new words from Unit 1. My 5 favorite. Here it says 5, but try to write more than 5. Of course, it's a whole unit. Of course, you have more than 5 favorite words. If you're still not sure about something from Unit 1, read through the unit again, listen to the audio material, study the grammar and functions from the unit again, and when all of these don't work, of course, always go to your teacher and ask him for help. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson and this unit also. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.